My first experience here at Lifepointe was Easter Sunday of 2023. Scott invited me to go to Easter service with him, and I said, sure, why not? I was curious to see what this church was all about. You walk through the door and you feel like you're a part of the Fort Mill community when you walk in. You feel like you're amongst friends and family of Jesus followers. You feel like you can speak to anyone when you're here.
I think you were probably like one of my closest friends, because I've always been in the Christian bubble my whole life. So you've probably been my closest, I guess, agnostic friend. And obviously, being Christian your whole life, you're always told to evangelize. And I was trying to handle it right, so I never tried to push you. But, you know, obviously I was always praying that God would move.
We came to Easter service, and I had never seen anything like this before. I just thought it was amazing. And you guys were talking about the Try 5. I was in my head thinking, yeah, I'd like to try this out. Maybe the week after, I started becoming more curious. And I talked to you about the Bible. And I started reading it on my own. And I started becoming more and more curious and reading more and more, and I had been talking to you about it.
You know, obviously I was praying this whole time that God would move and God would speak to you. And we were having these sporadic conversations, and then all of a sudden you came out of nowhere and you were like, hey, what's this whole baptism thing all about? I heard that they were doing spontaneous baptisms the next week, and like it blew my mind that because I knew that coming Sunday, I knew number one, you said you were gonna come with me on Sunday. And then on Thursday, you're asking me like, what's this baptism thing? And I'm like, what is going on here? And then on Saturday, you agreed to go to Billy Graham. The Billy Graham Library has a great kind of gospel presentation and talks about Billy Graham's life and stuff. So we went there and we went through the whole tour. And then we kind of parted ways, and you went home, and then you said you went on a walk.
Yeah, after that, I went on my nightly walk. Like, this song came on that I listened to all the time, and it was like speaking to me, like, it's your time to follow Jesus. And like, that's when I knew I was saved, was on that walk. I knew that at that point on my walk that I wanted to get baptized. I didn't know the next day was baptism Sunday though. So I walked in here, Nate's talking about baptism, and in my head I'm going, oh, well, I definitely want to get baptized and I want to get it done here. But I'm not mentally prepared for this today. In my mind, baptism was the last step after I've cleared my mind through everything. But it was actually that baptism is the first step. That is the first step. You can figure it out after. And so everyone's walking through the exit doors, mass exodus, to go get baptized. And I'm still standing there, and it was clear to me. It was like an afterthought. I was like, why am I still standing here? And then I turned to you and I said, are you coming with me? And you said yes. And then that's how I got baptized.
So I told some of the prayer leaders like about kind of your journey. We went to Billy Graham the day before, and then we had our baptism conversation on Thursday, and you didn't know it was baptism Sunday. And so like there were a bunch of people that were like praying hard for you that day. And so like when you turned to me, I was like, what? You're like, will you go with me? I'm like, yes.
I walked in with not having very many expectations. I was just a curious person, and I walked out knowing that this was going to be my church.